I'm Jeff with Radical Honesty, and I'm on the series on suicide. We started the series by looking at the book of Philippians because the letter to the Philippians has a theme of joy. And that's always absent, okay, when we are thinking about taking our own lives or ministering to people who are wanting to harm themselves. Now, I'm not saying if you follow these things, you're going to be like really happy, okay? But I'm going to tell you that if you understand what the Apostle Paul is trying to say, it can help you cope and help you sort of redirect how you live your life and how you see your life. Today, we're going to look at a very difficult passage, not difficult to understand, but difficult to apply. And because oftentimes when you are under a lot of like depression or sadness, it's because of the situation, and situation is enhanced by the people around you. Okay, you have that, you get really sad, you feel trapped, you feel like other people who perhaps aren't living a life for Christ, sort of like have a happier lifestyle or situation. So let's read what the Apostle Paul writes in Philippians chapter 1. I'm going to read verse 12. I'm going to read verse 12 to 18. It's kind of long, but I'm going to look down as I read. I want you to know, brothers, that what has happened to me has really served to advance the gospel so that it has become known throughout the whole imperial guard and to all the test that my imprisonment is for Christ. And most of the brothers, having become confident in the Lord by my imprisonment, are much more bold to speak the word without fear. Okay, I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to read verse 15 to 18 later on. This deals with the situation. Okay, I read sort of a summary on how to treat people or how to interact people with suicide, and they said it's a misunderstanding that people have a death wish. Most of the times people take their own lives because of a situation. There's a catalyst, there's a trigger, okay, that they sort of can't shake. Here the Apostle Paul is talking about his imprisonment. You've been imprisoned falsely, okay? It's not a good thing. You could sort of tie this to other situations where you feel like you should be given a better deal from God. But here's what's interesting. The Apostle Paul takes his imprisonment, which is a downer for people, okay, and turns it into a positive, saying that, oh, the imperial guard now has a testimony of Jesus Christ. And second, it has given other people more boldness to proclaim Christ in whatever situation they have. It's both an opportunity and a model. Now, this is actually very hard to do, because oftentimes, we're happy if the situation is happy. We make God, the circumstance becomes our God. If our circumstances are good, then we praise God. If a circumstances are bad, then we shake our fists at God. Here the Apostle Paul says, look, I've taken this very negative situation and turn it into an opportunity to proclaim Christ. Now, I don't know what you're in. I don't know what kind of situations you're ministering to people in. But one of the important keys is to make the situation you're in, if you have faith in Jesus Christ, to make it into a positive, to proclaim Christ and to allow Christ to minister through you even in greater ways. I'm not saying this is easy. But if you don't do that, you're going to begin to feel like drowning in your situation. Let's look at the verses 15 to 18. Some indeed preach Christ from envy and rivalry, but others from goodwill. The latter do it out of love, knowing that I am put here for the defense of the gospel. The former proclaim Christ out of selfish ambition, not sincerely, but thinking to afflict me in my imprisonment. What then? Only that in every way, whether in pretense or in truth, Christ is proclaimed, and in that I rejoice. Now there's that rejoice sort of theme found in that verse 18 in the words of the Apostle Paul. He's not talking about just necessarily the situation. He's talking about people around him. He's saying, look, honestly, there are people here who minister for Christ that are fake and phony, and they're actually like not helping me. They're like putting me down even more, and being in prison is bad enough. What I've realized in the ministry, always like, oh, wow, 40 years. That what the Apostle Paul said then is true today. There are a lot of phonies in Christianity. I'll be honest with you. A lot of people in ministry are phony. But here's the thing. You can't compare. The Apostle Paul can't say, oh, God, why are those phonies, free and I'm in prison? And why are they dumping on me? The Apostle Paul says, whether in pretense or in truth, Christ is proclaimed. Because for Paul, Christ is everything. Even if there are people who are phonies, but they proclaim Christ, they're not doing it in the sincerity of their heart. But for Paul, at the end of the day, as long as Christ is proclaimed, it's okay. He'll let Christ deal with them when he returns. But for one thing, Paul can't be mired in circumstance. He has to turn it for benefit. And he can't let other people in competition and rivalry let it gnaw at his soul. He must focus on Christ and Christ alone. And when you begin to do that, you realize that Christ will hold you dear to his heart, okay? And he will never let you go. For in our confidence and in our faith and in our security and in our trust is Christ. Not in circumstances and not in comparing your situation with people who are helping you or not helping you.